Okay. Hello, Team Thrive Nation. All right, I am going to give you guys just a few minutes to share this with your teams. I know it's kind of a weird time of morning, but I definitely wanted to get this info out to you just as quickly as possible. Please share in your team pages, and obviously this is always recorded, so you guys can hop on a little later too. So, hey Allison, hey Heather, hi Vicki. What we're going to be doing today is I want to fill you guys in on some things that happened over the last few days at our leader retreat. And just to kind of preface, I am crazy under the weather right now. I actually left our leader retreat and went straight to urgent care, got a steroid shot. I'm on some pretty high-powered antibiotics. But I have to battle as a mama today because we leave to head out for one of Jaden's official track and field recruiting visits. And if I'm going to battle for my kid and get dressed and put some makeup on and head out to the airport, I figured I better battle for you guys and get in here and share some of this stuff. So yeah, I'll probably only talk to Thrivers today because I sound terrible. And I feel bad too, but I'm better than I was yesterday. So I'm hoping all this keeps on working. So anyway, oh, by the way, yeah, I am taking like a zillion boosts today too right now. So hey Chelsea, thanks for hopping on. Hey Ashley. Okay, so some of the things I just want to cover, I mean, the bottom line is there's just nothing like being with a group of people that love their Thrive and love this business and are grateful for this company. It's hard to explain what happens in that type of environment, but those of you that have been in those types of environment, I know that you understand that. And at our leader retreat, it was actually the exact same qualifications, but I put that out to my 200Ks team-wide and my personally enrolled team-wide. So we had every rank there from 12K to bazillion K. We had, I think the newest promoter that was there had been with the company for 2 years. And we had a few Le-Vel millionaires there. So very much so a wide variety of people from all over the company or all over the country. And I'll be honest, I was a little nervous about it. We had it at my lake house, and my lake house is not fancy. I mean, it was bought for, our family as a weekend thing, so it's not real big and it's not fancy. And I was kind of nervous, about, is everybody going to be happy? I actually also rented out like another little cabin around the way. And then we had two men that qualified. Aaron and Joe Williams qualified. Aaron couldn't come, so Joe Williams was with Ralph in a little cottage that they had, but we had an absolute blast. But I wanted to share some of the just the feedback that we got, the golden nuggets. Hopefully you guys have seen the posts that I put in there. And I just snapped some pictures of the pieces of paper that everyone wrote down, the 2 truths and a lie. Somebody said that sounds like a drinking game. I mean, it probably is. But what we did was we wrote down 2 truths about the business or the product and then a lie. And we had some discussion around that. And so I took some notes. I wanted to go over these, and then I wanted to also share it. I think some of the stuff is going to surprise you because I know that you look up to a lot of these leaders. But the one thing that we all agreed upon is that we're all still growing. None of us have arrived. We all kind of, left the weekend going, man, there's a lot of work for me to do, because we heard just so many different things that other people were doing that were positive and that were working in their teams. And you're like, oh, I can do that. I just never really thought about that. Or maybe I didn't think about being consistent with that. Just tons of info. Obviously, and I think it was Kim that maybe brought this up, or Brittany, it's like Jason Camper said, the minute a leader thinks that they've arrived and they know it all, that's the downfall of your business. Somebody actually made that comment. They said, there was nobody, not one person that had an arrogance or a know-it-all mentality on this trip. Everyone was literally just so willing and open and coachable and just excited, because we know how special it is to be with this company at this moment in time, and also, what it means for the futures of our family, as we really seize the opportunity of this business. So some of the things, one of the conversations came up about being uncomfortable. Kim Collins actually mentioned, some of the uncomfortable things, in her business, were just having those hard conversations. Now, Kim is great with having hard conversations, but sometimes it's hard as a leader to have a hard conversation, and we all kind of discuss that, when you bring in your best friend to the business, but you really do need to have that hard conversation of, hey, we really need to be doing this calendar challenge, or, look at these things, what are you doing and what are you not doing, let's get you going. Those are some things that are actually, important, that you have to, sometimes it's not so easy to have those hard conversations. Actually, everybody kind of reminded me, I think I was a little bit more bold with my personally enrolled in the beginning of this business than I am now. Like, maybe over time I've kind of chickened out and not been, quite as bold with just that blatant honesty that maybe someone needs. Starla said one of her uncomfortable things was speaking on corporate calls and being on stage freaked her out. Okay, guys, that all of us kind of looked at her and laughed. We're like, what? Speaking on corporate calls freaks you out? Half the time Paul has you start the call. If you dial in early, you'll hear Starla doing company recaps, or talk about things. She's like, no, that's uncomfortable for me. I'm sweating, being on stage, and she said, something to the effect of, it was like, oh, I'll never do that again. But then it's like, no, I want to do that again, because I want to show my team that they can overcome those fears and overcome those uncomfortable moments. Brittany kind of shared, the fact of the uncomfortable things, the fear of being liked. Most of us, we've kind of been a people pleaser, or we wanted to make people happy, but very quickly you learn in a business like this that you can't keep everybody happy, and that you can't take everything personally and constantly get your feelings hurt, or you can't move forward in your business. Joe Williams, this was so funny, and I tried to type it, trying to figure out how to be comfortable with my uncomfortable to be comfortable. Anyway, he said the Zoo movie, I've never seen the Zoo movie, but it says you just have to have 20 seconds of courage. Some of you have heard that, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Sometimes that's what it takes, is just that, yes, I'm nervous, I'm uncomfortable doing this, but I'm just going to do it anyway. Kristen Gonzalez talked about messaging her chicken list and letting go of control. Trust me, I always say before I married Ralph Dillard, I was super independent, and I become more independent in my marriage with him because he just spoils me. But I also can be a control freak. Well, being a control freak in this business, I learned very quickly that wasn't going to get me anywhere. The more I was able to delegate, the better. The more I was able to, accept the fact that some of my leaders were going to be more connected to Tony, or maybe they were going to, just take off with their own business and use, run with their leaders. That was so important to understand quickly. And honestly, I wasn't ever offended because I didn't have time to be offended, but as a control freak, you might be that way. And I think that's very, Kendra is talking about, your type A personality. I mentioned that in the room. I'm like, guys, probably most of us that are here today, when there was a project in high school, a group project, we just wanted to do, we're probably the ones that did it because we wanted it done the right way. Well, with this business, you can't do that, because there's so many people to reach, and there's so many people to get on Thrive, and there's so many three-way calls, and there's so many group messaging, and there's, the more people that are doing the same thing, the better. So when you delegate and when you build your leaders, that's where you have success. And I don't know if you guys saw the post that I made yesterday, but one of the sweetest things of our compensation plan, guys, and I'm not an industry lifetimer. Like I was a speech pathologist, right? I was involved with a direct sales company at one point that was health and wellness, and I failed real quickly, gave up, took the product for 11 years, but I failed in the business aspect. But when that compensation plan, if say Christy Collins, I brought her in with me, if she reached the same rank as me, I lost money. A lot of compensation plans are like that. So it's almost like this, I don't want my team to succeed. Here, that is not the case. The more successful your team is, the more solid your business and the more your weekly rewards grow. So no one here is ever threatened by a team member taking off. No one here should ever be jealous that a team member maybe hit Success Magazine before you did. No one here should ever be jealous that a teammate hit Le-Vel Millionaire before you did. No one ever should be jealous that your teammate, your team member that you brought in hit 200K before you did. No, the foundation of this company is the more people you help get what they want out of life, the more you get what you want in life. And that is the beauty of this compensation plan, and the beauty of the whole business. And you'll get there. Just don't let comparison get in your way. Okay, a couple of things that we wanted to talk about. So obviously letting control, sharing, just share with your heart and don't worry about knowing anything. So it was so funny. At the lake, we don't have good cell service. It's very much so hit and miss. And some of these leaders really got a chance to unplug because their cell service didn't work at all. But Tanya Ward was upstairs on a Zoom, and we heard her say, we were downstairs and she was just right there. And we heard her say, well, I don't know about that. I just know I take 3 steps every morning on an empty stomach. I feel good. I don't have headaches and blah, blah, blah. And we all went, ooh, because she's saying, people are asking her something on a Zoom, and I don't know exactly what it was. If it was, an ingredient question or just a random, but she's like, I don't know about that. But what I do know, guys, the less you can be, the know-it-all, and the more you can just share your story and share your experiences, the better you're going to do here. Let's see. Brittany Williams addressed this, guys. This is so important. She said, do not introduce your upline as an expert or a top earner. When you are doing a 3-way call, or when you are putting someone in a Facebook Messenger so they can hear, or a text group so they can hear somebody's story, do not introduce your upline, as a 200K, as a top leader, none of that. You're introducing them to your friend that maybe introduced you to Thrive and has been doing it a lot longer, because me being a top earner has nothing to do with my story, and you can almost lose people in that. The reason I'm one of the top earners is because I have a product that works, okay? And that's what we want them introduced to right out of the gate, is the product and the story. So this is my friend. Y'all need to write this down, and please talk to your team about this today. No more introduction of, this is the top leader, this is a 200K. They don't know what that is. They want to be connected to someone who loves the product, okay? Because it's always about the story. That's where everything starts with us. Everything about this is additional income. I think that's something that we talked about. Whether you are, you can give this business an hour a week, 2 hours a week, whether you can give it 15 hours a week, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. All of us agreed, the majority of us were working at nooks and crannies. But it's all extra. So quit stressing about what your paycheck is and focus on helping people, because as you're helping people, it's all just extra. Look at this as additional income, okay? This is additional, and it also becomes residual, so that's why it's so important to follow up with people, to make sure they're taking the product right, to help them refer to so they can get it for free. Remember, your leaders have been there. We may seem like we're not relatable. We've just had more time in this than you. That is one of the hardest parts of this journey is, I'm approaching my 5-year anniversary. So some of you newbies may be like, but Mauria, you don't know where I'm at. You know, it's so hard in my town, or, you know, nobody here can afford it. Guys, I hear that story everywhere. I heard that story in my town. I've heard that story in Mexico. I've heard that story in Canada. I've heard that story. That's what all of us say, because that's the biggest excuse that we get, right? When we know that they're spending $5 a day between a soda and a coffee and an energy drink or whatever. But just remember, your leaders have been there. It's just been a while because we've just been doing it a little bit longer. You know, I don't know that any of us have situations that have happened, that you guys are going to have any situation that happens to you that we haven't already been through. So I promise we can relate. It's just been a while, but honestly, we don't ever want to go back either. And so we need to be reminded of where everybody begins as well. Yes, I know. Isn't that crazy? It's almost 5 years. That's nuts. You know, I think about that a lot too. What if I had just given up with that first no? And what if I had given up when people were saying, well, what if that doesn't last? You know, what if I had given up when I really had a hard time from people? What if I had given up on the days I felt crazy overwhelmed and had 10 calls in a row of negativity? You know, I'm so grateful that I didn't give up, because our lives are forever changed. Okay. If you say something in a room with one person, that's worth it. So quit stressing. This is something that we really talked about that was so good. But quit stressing, guys, over when you have a local event, if there's non-thrivers in the room or if there's thrivers. The bottom line is your story has power. You are there to paint a picture of possibility for people. And if you can bring a non-thriver to your event, great. If all your non-thrivers flake out on you at the last minute, go anyway, because there's energy in a room that understands what the Thrive experience is doing for people and the impact that it's having on a global level, and it's going to fill your cup. You know, leaders are going to show up anyway. I'll never forget the very first local event that we ever had. I don't know that there were very many non-thrivers in that room at all, guys. I was a thriver. I was almost 200K at my very first local event, and it exploded my business. It absolutely set my business on fire. You know, me hearing Tony's journey face to face, me meeting Paul Gravett and Jason Camper and hearing what they had to say. You got to remember, guys, you know, if you're 12K in this business, you are your team's Tony Strathman. You're your team's Mauria Dillard, Paul Gravett, Jason Camper. Do you know how many people on your team would just love to have their car paid for every month? How many people on your team would just absolutely love to drive a luxury vehicle? You know, to not worry about the light bill, or, you know, to be able to do Christmas lights this year and not worry about the electric bill. You know, don't discount who you are to your team. Your team is looking up to you and they want to be where you are. So get out there and paint that possibility. I don't care if it's in a living room local, if it's meeting at Fuzzy's, if it's a restaurant, you know, wherever it may be, get there and share stories. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Y'all, I know I sound bad. So those of you that hopped on late, yes, I'm sick. But I'm having to battle today, so I'm doing it. I'm doing it anyway. Okay, hang on. Oh. I had to copy and paste and text to my computer some of the notes. So, okay. Kim Collins kind of talked about, you know, because a lot of times people say they live in a small town, so they can't do this, you know. Well, bottom line is everyone in the world is connected to everybody. I mean, we really are, and especially thanks to social media, and that's why we encourage you guys to share those stories from the fan page. You know, start your own album on Facebook with Thrive Stories. My album is titled What It Means to Thrive. You know, post on your Instagram, connect. But Kim talked about there's only 800 people in her town. She's a Le-Vel millionaire. She has 4 80Ks. It's not about just who's in your town, y'all. It's about who other people know. It's really not about who you bring in. It's about who they know and who they know. Remember, everyone we know is tired, exhausted, worn out, stressed, and another thing that we all talked about, I need to find those notes. Hey, you know what? I need someone that's on here. Oh, I bet I'm the one that, let me see if I can get that. We actually went through and did, out of our like top 10 sponsorship downline, like that we've enrolled, how many of them are even active in the business? That's something I need to come back and tell you guys about, because a lot of us, it wasn't necessarily who we brought in that exploded our business. It was who they brought in, who they brought in, who they brought in, who they brought in, and then boom, all of a sudden there's a 12K down here. So it's not just necessarily that first person you bring in. But again, that's why you want to encourage that first person that you bring in. Maybe they come in as a promoter, they hit their VIP 800, 1600. They really don't want to promote, but they love their Thrive. They're going to take it every day. So that's when you encourage them to, hey, do you care if I tag you, in this post about Thrive? There's a new promo coming out. Do you care if I tag you? Hey, we really need to make sure you have at least 2 customers so yours is free every month. Who do you know that might be interested in this? This just came out today. Hey, we just launched a new improved formula for Thrive K. Do you have anybody that you know that might be interested in that? Keep working with your people. How to win friends and influence people. That's huge. You don't just look at an immediate circle. Everyone knows someone. What's that statement? There's only 6 degrees of separation or whatever that is. Somebody can probably correct me on that. I think it was Joe that said, don't have a vegetable stand mentality. Life is network marketing. And somebody said, well, how did we find, the barbecue guy, the photographer? And that was so true. So the leader retreats at my lake house. So how did I find the photographer? Well, I asked my realtor who helped me buy that house, right? So she was our agent when we bought the house. So anything that's ever related there, like she referred the cleaning lady to me, she referred the photographer to me. I asked her which Mexican food place would be best, because if you're coming to Texas, you need Tex-Mex. Life is network marketing. This is what we do. So yeah, look at it that way. It's not just who you know people who know people. Just a second. I really hope I don't start that. Okay. Oh, wait. Okay. Do not focus on what you don't have. Focus on what you do have. Maximize what I have. Some people, it's their phone and social media. Don't get your feelings hurt when the first person says no. Sometimes people say, well, there's no events near me. Well, heck yeah, what an opportunity. That means you're like the first person in that area to introduce this to people. That's like a golden opportunity for you. And guess what? If you're in an area where everybody already knows about Thrive, even better, because you've got validation. I mean, there's always great ways to look at this stuff. Let's see. Oh, we love this quote. A lot of the best events are hosted by OKs, not 200Ks. You don't need a 200K to have a great event. You need someone who absolutely loves their Thrive experience and is on fire and thinks everyone and their dog should be thriving with them. That is what makes for an incredible event. The popcorn analogy, if you've not seen the video that I posted of Joe sharing that, you definitely need to look at it. Don't allow hurdles to stop you. There's always a way around. Think about that, guys. Some of us have hurdles that we have to overcome. You can crawl through, you can go around, whatever. Sometimes it's a huge freaking boulder that you've got to go through, but do it. It's worth the climb over. It's worth the helping hand that you have to say, hey, I can't get over this thing unless I get a boost from you. Like, we got to do this together. It's always going to be worth that. Some of the leaders talked about, some of those 200Ks in the room, they have more, they're an introvert personality. They, have social anxiety, but they figured out a way to overcome because they love this product so much, and they still get sweaty and they still get nervous. But that nervous energy becomes adrenaline with passion linked to it. And you can make more of an impact that way, guys, than you ever could as just some expert that had no emotion, right? When you're in a rut, ask yourself, when was the last time you shared your story? If you are sharing your story, you're not going to get in a rut, because you're going to be reminded of where you were before and why you're so grateful that you are where you are now. When was the last time you got somebody started on Thrive? Y'all, that's the fun part of this business. To keep fire alive, you have to keep hearing the stories. So whether that's dialing into Le-Vel Live, whether that's, hopping on our YouTube channel, locals, etc. By the way, I had a few people that didn't even know we have a Team Thrive Nation YouTube channel. Yes, that's where we take all the videos, most of them that we do in here, we put them on our YouTube channel. Yes, search Team Thrive Nation on YouTube. You have a training channel for you guys. You guys just got to plug into what we have. We do have a ton of resources. Dig through your cloud and see who is adding people. A lot of them talked about how many leaders that they found just by looking through the cloud and seeing, who's enrolling people. Who does it say, you get your company updates at the bottom, who are you seeing that is adding people? You're seeing their name pop up. Look at your PPA report. Who in the last 30 days, has brought in some people. Reach out to them, talk to them. Let them know that you're there. They may be 7 levels down. Who gives a rat's? I mean, that's great. Go ahead, work with them. They're on your team. We talked about just the American dream or the American way. And Susan Kaufman said this years ago, and it stuck with us so much. But, a lot of us have just got caught, there used to be this American dream that involved, entrepreneurism and anyone can be anything if you work hard enough and you put in the time to create something special for your family. But, y'all, we don't live in that society anymore. We live in this American way, which is work your tail off and then retire and have nothing, and then there's no guarantee that some major health crisis isn't going to have once you finally retire. I mean, it's but we talked about just this movement that we have with Thrivers. I mean, if there's 10 million Thrive accounts right now, what if these 10 million Thrivers create a movement of options and life, and a life worth living versus a life for just barely getting by? And everyone defines that differently. This doesn't mean quit your job. I mean, honestly, I don't want anybody quitting their job until they actually have a full understanding of what that means, because some people don't do as well with a lot of time on their hands, especially if quitting your job means you become a stay-at-home mom, because honestly, most of the time it's harder to be a stay-at-home mom than it is to go to work. We're not talking about that. We're talking about time freedoms and options. Those are the things that matter. And what if 10 million Thrivers all of a sudden start a movement that shifts this whole mentality and we actually start living a dream again? We referenced, the first time I ever went to Disney. If you guys have ever went to Disney, and all the, everywhere, all over the park, there's quotes from Walt Disney. And, those messages were about dreaming and keeping things alive. But somewhere along the way, somebody came about and said, oh, no, you can't do that. You have to go to college. Or, oh, no, you can't do that unless you have a degree. No, you can't do that. You have to go work 40 hours, 60 hours, 80 hours a week from someone. And the dreams went by the wayside so we could fit into some status quo. What if 10 million people just start rocking that status quo like crazy, and we shift and evolve and create a generation of people that believe in truly living, not in conforming? That's exciting to me. I mean, that just gets me all excited. Okay, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to share some things. Oh, let's see. So I'd ask the leaders just to kind of, a few of them, just to kind of give me a rundown of what, what they would say, just some feedback. Oh, let's see. Let me scroll up a minute. Because basically you guys just heard all my feedback. I want to share some of this from you guys, from them. Okay. Okay, so Joe, one of the things that he took away from the weekend was that he was going to put in place more of a timed schedule. That's something that some of the leaders shared, kind of doing increments on working your business. Put in more of a time schedule to hold himself accountable so he can avoid days that seem like getting lost without accomplishing anything. That's a biggie too. All of us talked about the calendar challenge. That is it really is a great accountability session for you to know what what is it that you're doing, what are you not doing, what can help your business grow. I know Kim said that one of the things that she does with her leaders is she asks them to send her every night what they did in regards to the calendar challenge and what they just it could be 2 of the 6 things or 4 of the 6 things. Just at least send her every night what they did. And she said what we learned over time is it kind of shows a pattern of maybe the things that they're not doing because they're just scared to death to do it. You know what I mean? So then you can kind of address that. And then, they can, one night they get, she gets a message, oh my gosh, I did it. I was scared to death, but I did it. Well, then things start growing. So, y'all, that calendar challenge is still, those are the income producing activities. And remember, working on Facebook is not building your business unless you're being intentional on Facebook and you're finding new thrivers, right? Or you're marketing your product. Now, Facebook Messenger, that can be where you build your business. Starla said, I was really hit hard with the importance, again, of the passion behind the stories. You guys are exactly what I needed right now at the perfect time. Stay in the zone, never stop sharing our stories or getting in front of the rooms to share it. We can't get complacent. Kim, passion and purpose are 2 beautiful things that will take us far in life. I love hearing all of your passionate ideas and most of all watching you. Let's see. Joe also talked about, Amber used the analogy of, all the things that we have going on in life. So I'll try to do this. I don't know if I can do it as good as Amber, but say you have a glass and it's filled with ice. Okay, and the ice represents work, kids stuff, volunteering at church, football games, all the things, housework, all the things that we do on a daily basis. Like the ice is full of all the non-thrive stuff, right? Okay, so you've got that thing like full, crammed full of ice, right? All the way to the top. You can still take a glass of water and you can just kind of pour it in gently at a time. That's where you're pouring in your Thrive business. It really is in all those nooks and crannies of your day. And if you can be intentional, it's 3 minutes here, it's 5 minutes there. It can work. Let's see. Brittany, I think that's Benicky. Oh my goodness, the emotions are in high for me this weekend. Positively absolutely breeds positivity, and it's so important to surround yourself with those who lift you higher and let all the other outside noise go. If you have a vision with the right mindset, you can make everything happen. Anything happen. Birds of a feather flock together. That's important too. You have to surround yourself with people that are moving in a positive direction. If you find yourself having conversations all day long that are questionable or negative or, placing doubt, in your mind, you're not going to go far. I've shared with them, there's been times where I've said, I can't take this call today because I haven't had enough positive calls for the day. That's a good kind of mental health thing, right? But it's so important. Let's see, time freedom. I got very emotional a few times on the trip when people were talking about family and friends and things happening in our lives that we may not have ever been able to be a part of. If we were in other positions. That to me is just so incredible. Tanya just shared about, just the inspiration, painting the picture of possibility. Jen shared, I know she said, I knew many of you before, but feel like there's so much to catch up on as our stories evolve. Also love meeting some of you for the first time. It's always awesome to me to see how many people that are completely different can be on the same path with their goals and passion. There is nothing like surrounding yourself with like-minded people, and this trip was a great reminder of that. I love the phrase, live the American dream, not the American way. That's going on my vision board. Let's see. Also, love the phrase positivity or productivity will change your mindset. It's so true. It's easy to get in a funk when we aren't being intentionally productive. That equals empowerment. And guys, that is so big. That's why we have the calendar challenge too. It's just to see those daily activities that they're easy to do, but they're easy not to do. But if you literally have just a checklist of all those to-dos, you're going to feel like you're empowered, like you're actually doing things that keep you, I don't know, that's just the way it is. If you have a to-do list a mile long on your kitchen island with all the stuff you need to do for your family and you don't do a dadgum thing, you're going to be stressed to the hilt. You're going to literally sense dread every time you walk by it. But if you just start checking a few things off the list, it's going to get a little easier and you're going to be like, heck yeah, I did all that today. That's the same way that it is with this business. Let's see. It's always nice to connect and see that other experience similar struggles. We all have things to overcome, and that's a comfort. We're also out there in the grind doing this. I feel inspired and rejuvenated, ready to change more lives. That was from Shannon. And I think sometimes, people, you can look at me, you can look at Starlee, you can look at Jen Ellis, the people you see, 200Ks, millionaire stage, and you think, that everything is just grand. And the reality is that we're in a people business and we're not perfect. And your leaders, you know what? All of us have made mistakes. I have made mistakes in this business. I've made mistakes in communication. I've hurt people's feelings. Guys, I am human, but I am always working to be better. And, I've asked you before, guys, give your leadership some grace. But you also have to understand they're along the same ride as you. They've just been doing it a little longer than you. And you may have some leaders that literally started a week before you, and they're learning along the way. But the key is that we all stay moving forward. I think that's just, that's definitely the main thing. Let's see, always love my time with you all, and I'm just mind blown that I'm there with you. Like I said, I almost used every excuse I had not to come. I've been so close to give up or just being content, but I can't do it. I want more. I want to help other people have more. I know it's possible, and I can't let it slip through my fingers. Thank you all for being so down to earth and real, and that was from Andrea. Thank you for reminding me to have 10 to 20 seconds of courage and just do it. Also, I love the popcorn analogy and the ice water, and we've shared both of those with you. I learned that it takes good work to make this business grow. There's no secret, no special training, just sharing passionately about how the products are helping people. Those who are where I want to be have just been doing it a little longer than me. Keep moving forward and sharing. We have fantastic, loving, caring, genuine leaders here. Link arms with them and run. I'm going to reflect on my notes again tomorrow. Oh, okay, she said she wanted to add a little bit more. Amber's the one that addressed the whole, like Jason said, when you think you have arrived is when your journey will be over. We are always growing and constantly learning. And she said she was thankful for all the golden nuggets. Brittany, this wasn't a retreat full of people who think they had it all together, know everything, and have the perfect track to success. We all have insecurities, fears, and uncomfortable most of the time, and we're still learning. We're here because we push through despite of that. At the end of the day, I think that's what's so special about our company. What we've created here has very much so been done by very average, ordinary people. That learned along the way, and we were able to have a successful business because we have a free business model. It doesn't cost anybody to join this company. We have a product that, by golly, it makes a huge difference in people's lives, and the stories that are starting today are just as powerful as the stories that started 6 years ago when Le-Vel sent out the very first product. You do realize the very first product was just capsules and lifestyle mix. They didn't have DFT, and the stories began there. this is why we're $1.5 billion global brand. This is why we're approaching $2 billion in sales. And when you can truly make it about all that, now I'm going to address something. I know Paul tells you to get with your 200Ks for scripts. You guys saw a spammer post that we put in there that literally, and the reason I posted it is because literally like 6 of us all got the message at the exact same time. So obviously that person was targeting Le-Vel leaders and just blasted it out. You don't want to be that person that sends the same exact message to 10 people and is a spammer. Okay? So if I give you guys a message, guess what? I mean, how many of you are in this group? I don't even know. I don't need 20,000 people sending out the same message or we would all get shut down. Okay? I was speaking with someone last night that asked me directly for a message, and I said, here's what I want you to do. She's a Canadian promoter. They just had huge local events. She's a passionate thriver. I said, here's what I want you to do. I want you to follow back up with some people. I want you to share your excitement about the Canadian launch, maybe some things that you noticed at your local event and why you're so excited, just to talk to them some more about the Thrive experience, because you know they're going to feel like $1 million. Start there. See, I can't give you a script, guys. You create your script. I can guide you. What are you excited about? What made you think about them? Why are you sending them that message? You work through that. And don't worry about it being perfect or wrong. Just don't send a novel. I think that's the worst thing you could do. Share your excitement. Your energy and your excitement is what's contagious. That's attraction marketing. It draws people to you. When you're posting on Facebook, when you're excited about things, you want people to go, man, I want what she has. The same thing just happened to Andrea. We're coming back home. She's got one girl that wants to promote and another one like, oh my gosh, is already taking his product and he's upgrading to a promoter. But in the message from one of her friends from high school, it said, I need what you have. Now, Andrea doesn't throw up Thrive on Facebook 24/7, but she's a college coach's wife. She has 3 busy kids, and she shares her life and what Thrive allows her to do with her life. Do you see the difference? That attracts people to you. What you post and what you talk about, you want people to think, I want what she has. I need what he has. That's attraction marketing. Okay, let's see. Last but not least, I'm just going to mention something. Oh, wait. Oh, I do have to share this one. Kristen shared this. So no matter how long we've been a part of this business, we all continue to learn from one another and help each other. I love how Thrivers will go out of their way to help others, regardless if it's benefiting their team or not. We are one big family that all have the same goal of changing more lives, and as long as we don't quit and always stay consistent with sharing our stories, we will continue to grow. This retreat helped me realize even more that I need to be more uncomfortable than I have been and to continue to focus forward and not let anyone hold me back. All of us deal with things or people or life situations that could hold us back, guys. All of us do. And it's, I've just shared with you guys, we've had a rough 2 weeks with our family. I'll tell you what, it was just as good for me to be around these people over the last 4 days than it was for them to be around me. Because we're all you need each other. You need people that are on the same mission. And so I'm going to challenge you guys. Go get with some of your people. You don't have to plan a retreat. Go have lunch. Go do dinner. Go watch Big Brother. I don't know is Big Brother over? I don't know. My daughter watched it. I think I watched like 20 minutes one night. Just go get with your people. If there's an event in the area, get there. Go to the Le-Vel fan page. Look up your next local events. Is it an hour away? Okay, grab a friend or two. Have a carpool. Go to dinner. Go to the event. Take turns sending messages on the way home. Take turns driving home. Get with your people and stay in the zone. And if you haven't shared your story today, get on the phone with somebody to share your story. Call somebody in your team and just say, hey, who can we put on the phone today? Who do you have on the fence? I want to share my story with them. Dial into some calls. Get on the YouTube channel. Be grateful for where you are and where you're going. Because so many things are ahead for us. So, yes, Kelsey, from the heart messages are easier. Yeah, for sure. I mean, just be you. Take it from your head to your heart. That's one of the biggest pieces of advice I've ever given someone. And it really does, it's why things are special here. Because you can take it from your head to your heart. Because you have a product that is changing lives. That's where it all starts. So be confident in that. Leaders, please share this with your teams. One of the things that we get a lot is, well, people are searching for this or searching for training or searching for this or searching for that. We have a lot right here, but you got to let your people know about it, okay? So tag your teams, share in your group pages if you need to add some more team members in here. Like I said, we have a lot of stuff out there for you guys. You just got to plug into it and get out there and run with it. So thank you so much. Thank you, Carol. All right, bye guys. Have a good day.